Hello, yoga fam. How are you? Welcome to our live community yoga class. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here, whether you're live with us now or tuning into the replay. So welcome, welcome. Hello. We've got Abby coming in from the Wales, UK. Hey, Jenny. We've got Terry here from Canada. Susanna is ready, waiting, and excited to be here. Heavenly Acres Farm, who are you, my fellow Floridian, coming in from Florida? First time I'm able to make a live class, so great. Shelby coming in from Scotland, so great to see you all. Hey, hey. So if you don't know, I am 32 weeks pregnant. That's what this nice basketball shape is. And it's also the reason why our live classes are going to be more floor focused, both this week and next week as well. So the great thing about that, though, is because this is the life season I'm in, I've really pulled together this holistic yoga experience for you and I and our community to partake in that covers and integrates so many limbs and systems within yoga. So we really get to have this holistic experience and leverage some of the limbs that we might not normally tap into and use in our day-to-day on the mat practice. So, hey, Amber. So let me know in the chat if you were able to make last week's live class. And that one was really focusing on the body. Today, we're focusing on the mind. And next week, we're going to focus on the soul. To be frank, though, every class really has a body, mind, soul component, but it's a nice way for us to break up and really dive deeper into the content and that topic. So let me know if you were here last week for our body class. And if not, the replay is waiting for you on my YouTube channel. And essentially, last week, we really connected with the root chakra, which is the Muladhara energy center at the base of the spine. It's your physical identity, and it's everything to do with believing in your right to be here, belong, and have, and also to reconnect with and believe in this beautiful, capable, magnificent body that holds our thoughts and emotions and our wisdom and soul. So this week, we're going to progress onward. And if you weren't able to be there, I do recommend that you go back and check out that replay as well. So you feel like you're getting the whole menu throughout these 3 weeks that we're meeting live together. So no worries if you missed it. Like I said, it's on the channel. And thanks so much, Lisa. I appreciate that. Okay, so the other reasons that we're here, right? Besides the fact that we all agree that yoga is a great practice and we love to practice it, together. That first word together, we're here to join as a community, to join together as a community and really be here live with one another and share in this practice. That's something that's really important to me. If any of our studio members are here, they can vouch for that. We really believe in coming together as a collective and supporting one another. So that's number one. It's like the baseline foundation of why we do these live classes, because it's an opportunity to be here with one another. Number two is I'm super passionate about leveraging the whole yoga system and really practicing on and off our mats and starting to build and expand what I call your toolkit, okay? So also if our studio members are here, I'm huge on building your yoga toolkit and knowing that asana, our physical poses, are one set of tools. And there's so many other powerful, potent tools within the system that we can be introduced to and start to use on a day-to-day basis to really benefit our lives off the mat where it matters most, okay? So that second reason that we're here is to build and expand your yoga toolkit so that when, life is swirling and unraveling, you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to pull out this tool today. and you feel really armored and well prepared for that as best to your ability. And the third reason that we're here together is I have to talk about the Body, Mind, Soul Detox Challenge. So this challenge happens biannually here. It's kind of a big deal, and it's our second time leading it. Let us know in the chat if you were there last time, spring of 2022. And the Detox Challenge is this 7-day immersion where everything we're doing here live together and that I share on my YouTube channel is brought together into one cohesive experience. And again, it's really important because we do it together as a yoga family or a detox family. So it's 7 days where we go all in, and myself and my team, we take it really seriously. So we show up to equip and empower you with those on and off the mat tools so you can build your holistic toolkit, so you can break free from self-defeating BS, and so you can start or continue to reclaim your wholeness using the yoga practice. So the Detox Challenge starts on September 5th. We are about a week and a half away from that starting date, and I would love for you to come join us. It's free. There's on the mat classes, off the mat practices. There are live workshops, master classes, community co-working calls. There's giveaways, there's prizes. There is a private community. It is incredibly fun, immersive, and it's a beautiful way to like go all in and get a lot of growth out of it in a very short period of time. Okay. Tommy, really looking forward to reconnecting. Jessica, I was there. It was truly a detox experiencing. Like I was awakening to spring. So great. Thanks, Carrie. Let's see here. Faith, I was there last time too. Angela, I know you were there as well. So great. So yeah, there's a lot of people here who did it, and I hope you're going to participate again. So if you did the Detox Challenge last time, what's really cool about repeating it is any time that we lean into repetition, we get to really track our progress. We get to see how much growth has happened. And since there's a 6-month window between each Detox Challenge, it's a really great marker of, okay, what happened then? What have I learned? Where have I grown? What was difficult? What was empowering within that 6-month span of time? And how have I used my yoga toolkit? Or how have I not? And is this my reminder to get back to it, right? So that's why we're here. Community, building a holistic yoga toolkit, practicing on and off the mat. And I'm shamelessly marketing our Body, Mind, Soul Detox Challenge that starts on September 5th. It only happens twice a year. It is a big deal. Okay. So the goal of our class today is to shift from the inner critic to the inner mentor. And feel free to let me know in the chat, what do you think are some qualities of your inner critic? What are some qualities or characteristics that would describe your inner critic? I know for myself, what instantly drew me into the yoga practice and really had me coming back day after day, class after class, year after year, it's been over a decade now of unrolling my mat and really devoting myself to this practice and the studies, is that so often I would start the practice having an inner critic experience, right? There was that voice inside that was keeping me small, stuck, unseen, clinging to the familiar, not wanting to take risks and live in that gray zone of uncertainty, really harsh, judgmental, not loving or compassionate, very fearful. So I would walk into the studio or unroll my mat or sit on my cushion in that mindset, in that state of being. And then after the practice, whatever the practice was, I felt rejuvenated, revitalized, and like, oh, there's my inner mentor. There's my inner wisdom. There's my intuition. And so I always I think unconsciously in the beginning, I didn't know that that was happening, but I could sense that energetic shift, that I was walking in or beginning my practice in one state and ending it in another. So let's see. Yes, self-doubt, perfectionist, nitpicking, judgmental, always making me look back instead of in the now, perfectionist, extremely harsh and judgmental. So hi, Tammy. I'm so glad you were able to just jump in. Holly, not good enough, not worthy. Gabriella, I can't do it. I can't achieve my dreams. Yeah. So I think a lot of us are tracking with the same language and the same characteristics. And we all feel like, okay, we know that inner critic version. And I want to share some teachings from Tara Moore. And this is from her book, Playing Big. I really love Tara and I really love her work. And feel free to jot down some notes, but also know during the Detox Challenge, I have a whole masterclass on this topic with a slide deck presentation. So we're going to go much deeper and slower, and you'll have that presentation available in a replay as well. Okay. So inner critic, what is it? It's a lot of what everyone just said: harsh, rude, mean. Very binary, a black and white thinker, doesn't leave room for that gray area of uncertainty. It is the voice of reason, right? It tries to tell us like, no, I'm really acting in your best interest here. It is the voice of you aren't ready yet and you aren't good at, especially for women, technical stuff, mathematical stuff, scientific stuff. It is the voice of body perfectionism. It is that broken audio record or tape player that feels as though there's no knob to turn down the volume, like the knob fell off and we don't know how to find it anymore. It is irrational and yet persistent. And it can take inspiration from critical people in your life, like your parents, your closest peers, a previous coach or teacher, someone who is influential in your life. It can take on that voice. So that is a little bit more clarity around who is this inner critic, and some practices that we can start to do when that inner critic is starting to gain momentum or volume, which I want to be really transparent. That happens to me throughout the day, right? Throughout the day. And so throughout the day, I'm using my yoga tools to come back to center, back to neutrality, back into that state of my wisdom body or my inner mentor. So inner critic practices. And again, this is from Tara Moore's book, Playing Big. Number one, label and notice. This is the most important practice. Label and notice, right? So, oh, that's my inner critic speaking. Separate the I from the inner critic. Really difficult and so powerful. Take out that labeling and identification of I am. And that's also a big teaching with Brené Brown. For those of you that love Brené Brown's work, she talks a lot about guilt versus shame, and shame being that I am statement where we create that identification and connection with, versus saying, you know, I am bad or that was a bad choice, right? So see the difference? Tara also recommends to create a character to personify your inner critic. I know one of our studio members uses Regina George from that movie Mean Girls. That's her inner critic. And so she talks to Regina George and really calls her out. You can compassionately see your inner critic's motives and why they're motivated by those motives based on childhood conditioning, past repetitive experiences, and those really influential people in your life that shaped you. You can look for the humor in the conversation that's happening and often how irrational it really is. You can also actually remove the inner critic from your room. So if you are in a spiral and the inner critic is so loud, we can actually get up, open the door, and see our inner critic out. Another one that Tara gives is to pantomime putting your inner critic in a box or a vessel and locking it up and putting it on the shelf. And lastly, imagine that we do know where that volume knob is and we're able to turn it down, right? So those are really helpful, but the one that she recommends the most is to label and notice. And then here's like the overarching ideas, okay? And so we want to keep these front and center. Having an inner critic isn't abnormal or pathological. It's only one voice in you, but it's not the core voice of you. The goal isn't to get rid of the inner critic, just like the goal isn't to get rid of our ego or get rid of fear. They're innately built into us. And the inner critic is worried about keeping us safe. And it doesn't care if we feel fulfilled along the way. And the foundational tool above all the things I just shared is to recognize it and name it. So can anyone think of a name that they might call their inner critic if they had to think of something funny or personifying their inner critic? What comes to mind just right away? Stream of consciousness, who is your inner critic? I really resonate with that Regina George one from the Mean Girls movie. Let me know if there's one that you really resonate with too. Okay, so then let's talk about our inner mentor, which is the version of ourselves that's really at the core of who we are and that our yoga practice helps us shift back towards. So many of, pretty much all of the yoga practices are here to help us regain homeostasis, neutrality, that balanced equanimous state, and to really be practicing and living within a sattvic state. That's another word for balanced. And so how do we get back to that place where we're really connected to our inner mentor? That's what we're going to do today. But who is this inner mentor, right? So it is the version of you 10 to 20 years in the future. It is the counterpoint to your inner critic. It is the evolved, wiser, calm, confident future self. It is the less self-centered, less preoccupied version of you. It is the fully expressed, mature, content version of you. Your inner mentor is unburdened by fear and untouched by insecurity. She or he or they patiently wait to be spoken to. So unlike the inner critic that does not wait to be spoken to, right? Like it comes online every day, all day. It doesn't need an invitation. The inner mentor really does need to be called upon and brought forth. And the easiest way to connect with that core version is when we get into a relaxed, neutral state, which our yoga practices help us do that. And they'll help us do that today. Lastly, your inner mentor knows exactly who they would be if they were brave enough to show up whole and complete. So they know how they'd be living their life. They know the visions and dreams they'd be pursuing. Let's see here. I saw someone say the Rugrats. I love that. Let's see. I just named her Pamela. She's an airhead model who doesn't know how to cook, garden, or understand literature. Carrie Cruella, yes. Faith, Lily White, Moaning Myrtle, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, my mom, I call mine Angelica from the Rugrats. The Nagasaki sisters call it the woman in the attic. Okay, I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different names for this inner critic. Caroline, I call mine Paula Blart. Let's see, good ideas coming through. I agree. I totally agree. These are so fun. Crystal, I imagine my inner critic as my emotional mind and my mentor as my logical mind. Okay. We've got Doris Roberts from Everybody Loves Raymond. George's parents from Seinfeld. So good. These are so great. Okay, so I think we all are understanding the personification of our inner critic. And so the inner mentor is this wise, future, evolved, calm, confident, center self who knows exactly how she would be living if she were brave enough to show up whole and complete. And the really big ideas here are that we can really play big in our lives off the mat, where it matters most, when we listen to the voice of the inner mentor over the inner critic. And we can really build our yoga toolkit to include the practices that help us do that. Again, it's that imagined version of an older, wiser you. She exists right within at all times, always here to be accessed. But remember, we really got to call upon her. Unlike the inner critic, she waits to be spoken to. Also, regarding dilemmas and challenges, there's a very different yet helpful perspective that your inner mentor can provide, often that like third option that currently isn't in your awareness or consciousness. And it's also a tool to counterbalance the often practice of seeking external guidance, external validation, external wisdom from other peers. Even though that's great to do, it's often that we can come inward and say, well, what do you think, inner mentor? How do you feel? How would you guide me here? And your inner mentor is a North Star that serves as a compass or a journey to travel, but not a destination that we ever fully arrive at. And again, that parallels the yoga practice. We are lifelong students. Every layer that is revealed, there's something else deeper to work with and to digest and integrate and then transcend further. So same. There's no destination to arrive at. It is a lifelong journey that we travel. And we can grow into this version of ourselves step by step, decision by decision, and challenge by challenge. So today's class, like last class, we're going to do some co-journaling. We will do some seated practices. We will chant mantra. We will practice mudras, which are hand gestures, and we'll end with some co-journaling. All right. And we'll really be working with the heart chakra, which is called anahata or unstruck, and tapping into the manomaya kosha, which is our mental, emotional body, and trying to shift that lower level thinking and feeling to the vijnanamaya kosha, which is our wisdom body, that inner mentor state of being. All right, so grab your journal or a phone or something where you can take notes, and we are going to begin with a few questions, all right, to really just get a baseline of what's going on. So number one, and again, journal, writing utensil, you can type on your computer, whatever works best. We'll take 2 to 3 minutes. How easily can you connect to your personal power and that wise inner core? And possibly, can you think of an example where you were able to do that or where you really want to be doing that? Permission to also reflect in the chat if that feels more satisfying. You can write directly into the comments and let us know. How easily do you connect to your personal power, that wise inner core version of yourself? One more minute. All right, so Faith said, easily in meditation, I pretty much always connect with that eternal presence of my winter wise woman. Yeah, I hear you on that. If anyone else wants to share. Denise, not easy for me to do, but I love the idea of it and having this in my toolbox to call upon. Yeah, Jenny, I can't connect to my inner core. Cool. This gives us a baseline to know what we're working with. And it's all a practice, right? So we practice this a lot inside the Body, Mind, Soul studio. All right, next question. And we'll take a few minutes again. Are you able to love yourself even when things are difficult? Are you able to extend compassion, acceptance, stay open, loving, even when things are difficult? So we'll take 2 minutes. Yeah, great. Great comment, Peyton. Breathwork really helps with number 1. Absolutely. Pranayama is the practice of breathing exercises to extend and expand our life force, our vitality, to really shift our energetic state of being. The heart chakra element is air, so it's also very closely tied to the practice of pranayama. So 2 minutes here. Are we able to love ourselves even when things are difficult, challenging, hard? Can we stay on the path? Can we stay loving, open, compassionate, empathetic? There are many times where I'm not being any of that towards myself, right? The inner critic is very loud. All right, so start to collect your thoughts and feel free to share them in the chat as we wrap up that opening journaling session. Calista, feel free to highlight a few of those that everyone is sharing. All right, so coming into an upright, seated, comfortable posture, if you're not in one like I am right now, we're going to hold what's called the fearless heart mudra. It's also called the hridaya mudra, or if you look in a mudra book and you look up hridaya, it will be a different mudra. However, the fearless heart mudra is a very similar concept to hridaya. And I'll share more about that. And this is from Ashley Turner and Sienna Sherman. If you have rings, I'm going to recommend that you turn them around and bring the hands into prayer position. Cross the right hand in front of the left, and the backs of the hands will connect. Then interlace the pinky finger, the middle finger, and the index fingers. So again, backs of the hands connect, interlace the pinky, the middle, and the index fingers, and then connect the ring fingers and thumbs. And you can rest this right in front of the sternum here. Roll the shoulders back and down, allow them to empty as you root down through the base of your being. And rise up high through the spinal column, through that core of who you are, your inner mentor. And feeling that extension and expansion all the way through the crown of the head. Really sitting in this regal posture. For everyone here who's female identifying, resting in your queendom, resting in that wise, calm, confident self. Invitation to close down the eyes if you haven't already done so, or softly gaze ahead. And bring your breath online. So slowly start to inhale and exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale through the nose as you hold the Fearless Heart Mudra. And so from the book, Mudras for Healing and Transformation, when we look at the Hridaya Mudra, it's the gesture of the spiritual heart. And it says, when we turn to the divine in challenging times, and I want us to replace divine here with inner mentor. So when we turn to our inner mentor in challenging times, we recognize a greater intelligence that can support and guide us through these challenging times that seem beyond our control. Continue to breathe, inhale and exhale through the nose, eyes softly closed. As we turn to our inner mentors for support, we open to receive the clarity that allows us to gain a wider perspective of the challenges we're facing, assisting us in finding a solution more easily. Divine guidance can also provide insight and wisdom so that the conditions that created this present challenge are less likely to occur again. As we take refuge with our inner mentors in times of need, our perception of our challenge is gradually transformed, and we come to see that every obstacle we encounter serves to guide us on this journey. And with this wider perspective, we're able to explore difficult situations, acknowledge their deeper meaning as vehicles for awakening to a greater understanding. Place your awareness in the heart center, softly inhaling and exhaling, evening out the pattern of your breath, coming into that calm, centered, clarified state of being, calling forth your inner mentor, bringing her, him, or them online, asking them to come forth and be part of this experience here. Really sending that invitation out, calling your inner mentor online. Hridaya means heart, and the Hridaya or Fearless Heart Mudra cultivates a space of inner refuge in which we can turn to our inner mentors for support and solace. This gesture directs breath, awareness, and energy into our heart centers, the anahata chakra, cultivating a sense of trust and safety, allowing us to acknowledge those inner critic feelings and explore the dimensions of the challenge that we are facing. It helps to calm the heart center and release stress-related tension from the chest. It also instills a greater sense of confidence as we meet and move through whatever challenges we're currently facing. And so as you hold the Hridaya Mudra, really imprint this hand gesture. Put it in your toolkit right now, okay? So imprint this gesture. Steady inhale and exhale. And I invite you to bring forth a challenging experience that you're currently facing. What's an obstacle that continues to trigger that inner critic? What's currently happening in your life that feels heavy, resistant? It's creating stickiness, tension. Bring that into your awareness now. Continue to softly breathe here. So this aspect of ourself that feels insecure, scared, uncertain, clinging to comfort. What is this aspect of self or challenge that you're currently facing? Bring it into the body, bring it into your mind's eye, and softly breathe as you hold it here. And I want you to imagine that there's a flame in your navel center. And each breath we take here together, you're fanning the flames. And you're transmuting and transcending that insecure aspect of self and that current challenge that you're facing. That current challenge that's triggering the voice of the inner critic. Each breath we take, that fire slowly builds. We shift further and further into the state of our inner mentor. And take 3 more breaths here, building that fire, building the flame. Purifying your mental, emotional body. Last inhale breath. Sigh out the mouth. Release the mudra, and these are some different kriyas from Kia Miller, who's a Kundalini teacher. We'll hold all of them for 3 minutes, so let me get a timer. And as we do these, I really want you to see what comes up. See if the inner critic starts to talk. All right, here's my clock, here's my timer. The wave looks like this. Bring your palms up to face towards me, and you'll literally create a wave in front of the body. All right, so 3 minutes together, waving in front of the body. And again, I want you to connect with that insecure aspect of self or that challenging, sticky, difficult situation that is really presenting as like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And the inner critic is like, it's okay. We can stay here. All good. We don't need to get through it. You don't need to get through that. Right? And going even further and deeper beyond that inner critic voice to that aspect of self that feels really insecure, tender. And imagine that as you wave your arms here in front of the body and continue sitting up really tall, roots down, crown lifted, that you're moving that story that you're telling yourself, that's circling within you, you're moving it out of your body. You're shifting your energy. Steady breath. Feel free to close your eyes. Tune into that calm, centered state, that wiser, deeper layer that lives within each of us that we can access at all times. We're over halfway there. Smooth, steady breath. I am calm, centered, and confident. I am my inner mentor. I am wise. I listen to that core voice. My arms are starting to get tired. 45 more seconds. We're almost there. Well, almost there with this arm movement. We've got a few more. Continue to sit up tall, roots down, crown high, open heart center, tone tummy, which is really difficult to do at 32 weeks pregnant. Last few seconds. And pause, hands rest atop the thighs, close your eyes, reconnect with that story, that challenging experience that you're currently butting up against, that insecure aspect of self, and do a check-in. How do I feel now? And open the eyes back up. Bring the left hand to rest behind the neck here. You could actually clasp the neck with your hand and extend the right arm straight out. And again, 3 minutes going in circles. You can go whichever direction. We'll go 1.5 minutes in one direction and 1.5 minutes in the other. Again, invitation to close your eyes. Keep that awareness inward. Continue to connect with your wisdom body, the Vijnanamaya kosha, your inner mentor. That version of you that has the ability to discern and really see clearly what matters most, what's true here. And also really noticing how effective your breath is. The calmer we can keep our breath, the steadier we can keep that inhale and exhale, the easier it is to withstand and sustain what's uncomfortable. Straight arm. 30 more seconds in this direction. We can do this. We're here together. I appreciate all of you holding me accountable, showing up to support one another. And switch directions. 1.5 minutes. Inhale and exhale. Again, keep that challenge, that dilemma, that sticky situation in your mind's eye. What is it? Can you transcend it? Can you transmute it? Can you use that flame, that fire in your belly, your personal power and confidence to burn through it? Anahata Judith says, I burn through challenges with grace and ease. That's her teaching from the chakra work that she shares. So can we burn through that challenge with grace and ease by calling upon and really connecting with and embodying that wise inner mentor? Whew, 30 more seconds. Last 10. And both arms down, pause, close the eyes. Compared to before, what's different? Maybe take a sip of water if you're sweating like I am. And let's go. Other side. So right hand comes behind the neck. Left arm extends straight out and start to make small circles in whichever direction you move in first. A minute and a half in this direction here. Keep the chest broad, open. Sternum lifting. Pull the belly in. If you're pregnant like me, keep baby close. Roots down, crown lifted. And notice things are getting difficult, right? Things are challenging. Notice the story that starts to percolate. Notice the tendency. Can you do something different? Can you lean on your breath? A key component within the yoga practice, pranayama. Can you help it to shift your mental, emotional landscape and stay centered and anchored in your inner mentor, that wise version of you? And other direction. A minute and a half. We can do it. We can do it. I have sweat underneath my boobs. We can do it. Inhale and exhale. Keep it steady. Notice if your energy starts to get like really scattered and fragmented. Turn up the volume of your breath. Deeper inhales, deeper exhales. Because that's life, right? Certain situations, the volume's going to get turned up really high. That inner critic's going to get really loud. And so whatever tool we choose has to be at that same level of intensity. Last 30 seconds. And arm down. Close the eyes. Notice what's different, what has shifted. Last one. Last 30-second practice. Open the eyes, maybe roll the shoulders for a moment, front and back. Give them a break. And arms are going to go straight out this time. Palms can face up, palms can face down. You choose. 3 minutes here. Notice if the shoulders start to really creep up towards the ears. Can you relax? Can you soften? Really extend and reach through the fingertips. Choose to stay open. Choose to stay loving, compassionate, accepting. We're going to absolutely make mistakes as we burn through our challenges with grace and ease. We're absolutely going to fall down the more we listen to our inner mentor. And can we stay open and loving and compassionate when that happens, when things get really difficult? Roots down, crown lifted, tall, regal posture. Notice if the shoulders are creeping up, they're going to continue to. Empty them down. Halfway there. And this is the last arm kriya. I'm with you. My arms are burning. I absolutely want to set them down. Reach even further. Broaden the chest even more. Roots down, crown lifted. Last 30 seconds. You are strong, you are powerful, you are calm, you are wise, you are confident. You are your inner mentor. We are our inner mentors. Last few breaths here. Inhale with me. And let the arms relax. Close the eyes. Awareness draws inward. Feel free to softly roll the shoulders. Let that tension dissipate, dissolve. Compared to before, what matters most now? How do you feel about that challenge or that insecure aspect of self? What is the new perspective that you've gained? Moving into our final piece today together, which is chanting. But feel free to write in the chat how your energetic state of being has shifted and how through shifting that energetic state, working with the Pranayama kosha, you've been able to change the mental emotional landscape, right? So through simple arm techniques or practices or exercises and pairing that with breath and having a really powerful intention behind it, how has your energy shifted and what's different about your mental emotional landscape? If you have mala beads and you want to use them, please bring them nearby and let us know in the chat what has shifted. Yes, Carrie, no afternoon slump. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. All right, so we're going to use, and sorry if my mic is rustling, this very light dress. There we go. Doesn't want to stay put. So we'll use the mantra Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. So Anahata is Sanskrit for the heart chakra. Shrim is the bija mantra for the Hindu goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi is really this sustaining, preserving, generative, energetic quality. It's also prosperity, wealth, and abundance. And so we're really calling in the preservation, the sustaining, the prosperous, generative energy of the heart chakra. So can we stay open? Can we stay loving? Can we stay accepting? Can we stay compassionate and empathetic even when difficulty arises? And can we stay really anchored in that heart space of our inner mentors? All right. So Namaha is like naming or calling or invoking that energy. Okay. And please let us know again how your energy has shifted from the practice we just did if you were here for that. So we will chant Om Shrim Anahata Namaha 108 times. We'll chant it 36 times aloud, 36 times mumbling or muttering, and then 36 times silently or softly. And then we'll end with a final journaling question and seal our live yoga class together today. So if you don't have the mala beads, I recommend reclaiming that fearless hridaya heart mudra. Again, to do that, hands come into prayer. You then cross right in front of left, backs of the hands come together, interlace the pinky, middle, and index fingers, and then connect ring and thumb. So again, if you're not using mala beads, hold the fearless hridaya heart mudra right here in front of the sternum. All right. And if you're working with mala beads, you'll come with me and I'll cue each of us, all of us, when to shift from speaking the mantra aloud to muttering to silently internally. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. You can join in with me. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. 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 Last three like this. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. Whispering, mumbling, muttering. Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. 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 Om Shri 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 Anahata Namaha. Last three like this. Om Shri Anahata Namaha. Om Shri Anahata Namaha. Om Shri Anahata Namaha. Silently repeating the mantra internally. Awareness at the heart center, anahata chakra. Calling forth that preservation, generative, sustaining, prosperous energy. Last 9 repetitions. Last one. Releasing the mantra. Also releasing the mudra and resting your hands atop the thighs here. Embodying your inner mentor. Sensing that wise version of you. Knowing that this version is always here and available. Last 3 breaths. Maybe bring hands to heart. Maybe one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Collective inhale. And a collective sigh. Okay, so slowly open your eyes. And compared to before, and you can write this in the chat, how's your connection now to your inner mentor? Compared to before, how is your connection now? And I would also love to know, if you feel inclined to share, what challenge are you currently up against and how are you feeling about it now? So what is that challenge that you are facing, that you brought into your mind's eye and into your awareness to work with today? And what shifted? How has your perspective changed? Becky, are you asking for the mudra or the mantra? For the mudra, when I first taught the Hridaya Fearless Heart Mudra, I read the excerpt. So go back through the replay and you can hear what the mudra represents. It is for your heart chakra and connecting to divine or your inner mentor. I feel very peaceful, calm, focused, and centered, sitting powerfully on my throne. I love that. Jessica, it exists. Jenny, I feel at peace. Ashley, I feel energetic. There's a fullness in my heart space. Yeah. And before we head out, what was that challenge that you were wanting to work with? And did you gain any new perspective towards it? Tommy, strong, inspired, empowered. I feel calmer. Let's see here. The wellness bee, I feel light and cleansed. I'm dealing with infertility and my inner critic, that I'm responsible for it, but this practice helped my heart. Yeah, so good, right? So knowing that inner critic is that voice that really wants to keep us stuck, small, and unseen. And how does your inner mentor, what does she have to say about your infertility and the journey that you're on? What is her loving, wise, calm, compassionate perspective? Laura, I was screaming when we were doing the hand movements. I had so much pent up, stagnant energy. I feel so much more centered and secure now. So great. Let's see here. Quiet yet energized from Holly. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So Becky was asking for the Om Shrim Anahata Namaha. So Shrim is the Bija mantra for Lakshmi. Lakshmi is a Hindu goddess or deity that represents wealth, abundance, prosperity. Also in the, when you look at the Tri-Devi, so that's 3 goddesses that come together, Lakshmi's in the middle. And so she's really that preserving, sustaining, generative energy. There's the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer. And so Lakshmi's in the middle there. She is the sustainer. And so when we put Shrim before anahata, which is the Sanskrit name for the heart chakra, we're really saying, I want to call in the energy of Lakshmi for my heart chakra. So I want to be able to be prosperous here, abundant, wealthful. I want to have perseverance, preservation, generative qualities for my heart chakra. And Namaha is like naming or calling forth, invoking. Yeah, they also work magic for me too. Okay. Ooh, Becky, my inner critic is honest, but my inner mentor is stronger. Yeah, so definitely inquire around that. What is honest? What is true, 100% true that your inner critic are saying? Byron Katie says, is it true? Is it 100% true? So often it's not 100% true. Okay, so let's see, Charity. My connection to my inner mentor is strong. I have named her Oprah. I love that, which enlightened a power I didn't even know I have. Yes, I love that. Let's see, this is the perfect mantra for what I'm dealing with right now. Such great synchronicity. So all of the stuff that we did today, we're going to do even more of that and go even deeper around these topics at the Body, Mind, Soul Detox Challenge. So again, that starts on September 5th. We're about a week and a half away from our start date. And if you really enjoy my style of teaching, which the yoga classes that are filmed for the Detox Challenge were very early on in my pregnancy. So there is stronger asana and physical postures that are included in the 7-day challenge, but there is still a lot of off the mat work that we do together. There's still a lot of chanting and mudras and off the mat teachings that I think it's imperative and really want to be teaching and sharing with you. So all of that's woven in. We start on September 5th. It's a free 7-day holistic yoga challenge that we do as a family. So we do it together. All right. So you can find it in the description below. You can find it on all of my social media channels. And if you're on my email list, I've definitely been sending it to you. So search Allie, the Journey Junkie, to find it. And I am so, so excited to be leading it again. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm excited to be showing up with my big belly. I'll be growing right alongside you next week for our final live class, which will be focusing on the soul, really getting into that crown chakra area within the energetic body. And then we're going to venture into the detox challenge together, and I'll be even bigger. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for being vulnerable, for wanting to practice yoga like we do inside the Body, Mind, Soul studio. And like me and my team really want to share with you. So we'll see you next week. Same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, the replays are here on our YouTube channel. Okay. Calista, thanks for being here and supporting us. And we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. We love, value, and appreciate you. Thank you for being here.